Hello, Bun Sangali.
Hi,
Hello.
Yeah, so James
James.
Brown says that he's going to be slightly late. So I'm going to send you a file across, which I want to communicate with you too. LibreOffice. Okay, guys, do you see the PDF file I just sent to the chat room? Can you get that file? Boone, James, Sangali?
Cannot see in the chat.
Yes, I can see it.
On the chat,
Yes,
I can't see it. I just write
in
hello.
Zoom.
You
Oh,
see my
that's
hello?
strange. Yes.
I can't see any messages. I'm on mobile phone. I'm walking home.
Oh,
Okay, this is most important that Boone knows the detail. So I just share the screen so that you can see a little bit. Okay. So here. Okay. So can you see the screen sharing?
Yeah?
Okay. Okay. Good. Boone, this is the activity project, which is after the event support.
okay.
Okay. So I'll explain. I think it's self-explanatory. Can you just look at it and then tell me what questions you have?
Okay. It's funny. I'm fighting the full screen mode. Okay. Okay.
No question?
Um, are you thinking we can? Are you thinking we should use a single web view for activity or one for each row?
That's undecided. That's per implementation.
Okay.
What do you think?
I'm not confident we can do it.
Do which way? Like with one
Either
web view
way.
or multiple?
Either way.
Mm.
I guess if we have multiple, it's more feasible, but performance might be bad.
Yeah.
The other
But you
way,
know,
if
in
we
this
have
case, we don't need to run. Oh, actually, yeah. So
yes,
either way, it's going to
because
be bad.
yes, and the other way is maybe impossible because you might need to load 10,000 of them into a single view.
So I guess and you know the fly weight. When you scroll, it's always 10 same. When you scroll, let's say there are only space for 10 web views. When you scroll, it's always the same 10 web view, except that it loads different content. So if you scroll out of your screen, then the new items are not visible unless you release your hand.
Okay. But that means we'll have to have one web view for each row.
Yeah, that's one way to yeah, that's right. The other is simply to make a huge web view, but that's a lot of. It seems like if there are too many things, one huge web view would not do.
Yes, but if you have a few thousand or even 10,000 rows and you use one web view for each, even if we reuse them, I think scrolling performance will be quite bad.
Yeah, when you scroll, you simply don't know what they are. Like when you scroll, new items comes out blank, and when you release your hand, these are refilled with content. So at any given time, there's only 10 web views.
Okay, assuming we can get that to work, that means when the user go to settings or the wallet tab, the experience will be quite different. Because on the other one,
Yeah.
for example, in the wallet tab, when you scroll, you'll be buttery and you can see the content all the time.
Yeah. So what about not using web view, but pre-render instead? Pre-render also allows you to extract the text in the pre-rendered one, which makes the search more effective. Not more effective, more user-friendly.
Pre-rendering on the client?
Yeah, so you cage each web view as a picture because they are not supposed to be interactable. Remember, item view was defined as a view that is not interactable. You cannot
Then
put
do
a
you
button
catch
inside.
them as then do you catch them as an image?
Yes, and text because you need that to search for search.
Yes, maybe caching them as images will work.
And if you hit one of the item, the full view is actually interactable JavaScript.
Okay. Okay, I guess we just have to try it out. Yes, but caching as image might be the better approach.
Yeah, if we talk about pre-rendering, then there has to be a way to do so. So first, I don't know if you can do this at all.
You can pre-render, but we have to test if we can actually screenshot the rendered content.
Yeah, so if you need to screenshot it, then actually you need to actually render it first. So the idea is if you go to activity for the first time, everyone is a real web view, but second time is just cache.
Oh, it might actually be possible to do it without displaying the web view on the screen. Yes, might be.
Yeah.
But even this approach we might not know if it will actually work because Well, actually, we will just have to try.
Catch is more complicated because if you detect updated token script, you have to invalidate the catch. You know, make things dirty, a lot of work.
Not for activities, right?
Just for activities.
But I mean, does activities change?
Yeah, it does. It does. So let's say you have a DAO. You have a DAO, for example, and it says that when you make a vote, it says you voted for Mr. Zhang, Mr. Wang. And next time you meet the author of TokenScript, and you said, actually, I can see who I voted, but I didn't see who win the vote. And the guy says, well, because who wins vote is not your transaction. And you will remind him kindly, you know, you're working with TokenScript, right? It doesn't have to be a transaction. As long as the event fits the filter, it can be rendered. And then he like, oh, this is great. So he add another activity which shows who wins the election. And the search filter is no longer owner equals to owner ID. It's just it's a different search criteria, like election equals to successful.
Right.
And then you have more. You have to retrospectively add new activities thanks to the new filter.
Yes, but we have to do this anyway when the TokenScript file changes.
Yeah, but then we need to invalidate everything that was previously generated by the TokenScript.
Yes.
Invalidate the catch, delete them. Yeah.
Hi guys.
Yeah.
Hi James.
So, James, we are looking at these things and discuss multiple ways to implement activity. Can I do a briefing for James Brown, Boone? Can I do it for you?
Yes.
Okay. So look at the activity, James Brown. Can you see the screen I'm looking at?
Yes, so and I've also got the thing that you printed out as well.
Yeah, yeah. So there are 3 ways to implement it. The first, which is probably dead on arrival, but I have to mention it anyway. That is, you render the activity screen entirely as a web page. And this web page has a lot of div blocks, and each div block sources data from the TokenScript's item view.
Okay.
The problem of this approach is if the user have 10,000 events.
Yeah.
Yeah. The second approach is to have a list view where each list item is a web view. And we have to improve it so that we have to use a flyweight here. So the idea is you only have 10 web view at any given time. And when you scroll out of the viewport, the new items are invisible. And when you release your hand, they're replaced with actual correct content by the same web view. So you don't have to render 10,000 web views.
That's right. Yes, that's a standard model. That's Android kind of implements that with Recycler View. Yeah, so that one's good.
Yeah, and the third idea is because even that the problem with that second thing is it might be slow when you scroll, and the user probably expect better performance. And also, like it doesn't give you search capacity because if before you render the web view, you don't know what is in it.
Yeah, yeah.
And the third method is to generate this view in the web view and take a screenshot. And later, as long as because they are activities, as long as the TokenScript doesn't get updated, you just use the caged picture. And when you take a picture, also take the inner text. You know inner text? So that you can do search, cage it.
Would you not, would not all of these data be in a database and searchable
in
there?
Realm?
Yes.
Yes.
So therefore, wouldn't it be better to search within Realm and then render the results?
Because sometimes what you search for is what is being rendered.
Yeah. Okay. So you'd have to you'd have to calculate all of the stuff that's been rendered, and you may because some of it might be JavaScripted. Okay. Yeah.
Look at this note-on search.
Got it.
A note-on search. So the fallback strategy is only match the source code and the attributes. Can you see what I highlighted?
No.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what you said is a fallback strategy.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
What you said is fallback strategy. The primary strategy is to extract content from the DOM in-memory DOM representation.
Yes. Okay. But is there not is there not a disadvantage from that in that you have to have rendered everything at least once before you can search?
Yeah,
Okay.
of course it's bad, but
Okay.
you're right. Yeah, so that only happens the first time when you import the wallet, though.
Okay.
Remember, if you import a
True.
new key,
Yes. True.
then it can
True.
see indexing all the events. But after that, only the new events come in has to be processed.
Yes. True. Yes.
Yeah.
But
So-
wouldn't
so
there
if-
be
Yeah.
many false positives from the HTML tags, for example?
That's why I said inner text.
Okay. Mm. Okay. Does inner text handle spaces correctly when you collapse the tags?
Your question is really, what if people put two paragraphs one next to each other without even space in between, and then the resulting inner text have the last word of one paragraph and the first word of the next one together?
Yes.
Damn it. Okay.
It,
I
it,
don't know.
it feels a bit like searching into the rendered content itself is quite a bit of work for maybe little benefit. Unless there's some reason why it's very important.
The reason has something to do with translation. So if you search for the value, sometimes you only have the, for example, I'll give you an example of, look at this, AdCon ticket is redeemable. Can you see that?
Yes.
Okay, let's talk about that. So what happened in the event is, event name is ticket purchased, and inside it has purchase price, owner ID stuff, you know, and ticket stuff. Can you imagine that event?
Yes.
Okay, so in that event, there's no such word called redeemable, because the user knows the ticket is purchased. What the user see is like a ticket becomes redeemable because the guy decided to tell the user this is the most important thing for the user. Therefore, if you search for redeemable, it's not there. And also even worse, like if the ticket is not redeemable, then if the message is didn't say ticket is redeemable because this event was has a special condition, for example, failed purchase, then you might still match the result redeemable because you are searching for the source code.
Yes, the redeemable comes from the TokenScript code, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So
okay.
the user will see that and want to find it by the word redeemable, despite the word redeemable actually didn't happen in the event elements in the event name.
Do we accept that it's the TokenScript author's fault if they use an image instead?
Yes, that's definitely the TokenScript author's fault.
Okay.
I'm not to put things into the extreme, just put it reasonably good, right?
What about metadata? So what about if you let TokenScript authors put some like metadata search item?
But it has to be runtime.
Yeah, we don't have a static processing engine. We talked about this before.
No, I mean the metadata has to be decided upon during runtime when it's rendered. So we are back to the same or similar problem.
Unless you wrote a special engine for that separately, but yeah, that would be a bit of an ass. Okay, fair enough.
So if you are still in the school of using JavaScript as a template language, then you cannot pre-translate it. You have to render it.
Yeah, I understand that.
And yes, there will be a process like indexing activities when the user import the key.
Indexing into a database.
Yeah, because first time you need to get history, otherwise search doesn't work.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Although this can be done in background, it doesn't have to take users. But background is more, what if you swap it out of view? Anyway, yeah, there's things to consider. Sounds like a lot of work.
How about that fallback? Just search into the attribute values.
Yeah, that seems like a good start.
Yeah, which means that in the case of ticket, adcon ticket is redeemable. That is only found if the event is actually called redeemable.
Yes.
Yes, but I might search for adcon instead.
Or redeem,
Rather than
the word
redeemable.
redeem.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
So
just the word redeem, which is
I have
almost certainly
highlighted
going to
this.
be in the attribute.
Token's name symbol. This is the fallback strategy.
Yes.
Fallback strategy means if you don't see the primary strategy being easy to implement, we go to fallback because we have to close the project somehow.
No,
But
kind of.
do we still need the source code?
The messages, like how does the user know what is the keyword? The user sees something, and that is message.
Could we generate our own sort of metadata indexing database? So basically, what you'd do is you would have, like Boone says, you'd have attributes and attribute names, and you would have you might be able to specify some metadata in the TokenScript itself to help people search for stuff.
You will get something. Eventually, user will fault sometimes, and you will accept that. Okay, sometimes user have problem with that. That's what will happen with our solution. The user will not be very happy, but they will still take it. So I'll give you an example. Let's say your ticket has expired, right?
Yeah.
So the attribute name could be ticket usable, or it could be it has expired, or it could be is expired.
Yeah.
It may or may not match what is on the user interface.
Yeah, but then you might add a metadata search for it. So you might think, oh, what would a user search for? They'd search for expire.
No, that wouldn't work.
So then I add that.
That wouldn't work. Google has proven that wouldn't work. If you put the responsibility into the web designer's hand, that they need to think about searcher's need.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. They'll just put metadata tags for everything so that you find their event.
Or they simply don't do anything. But when they actually do something, they want to do it for everything. They are not doing your work.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, in this A3 sheet, I didn't specify the implementation because that's up to the platform. And I think user can accept somewhat not very good but still acceptable thing, and the user potentially can accept without search feature at all. So that there's second fallback. See. So if you are not sure, just don't implement it at all.
Okay.
I like the attribute value search. That seems like a good first stage to work from.
Yeah, but you get mediocre behavior, and the user will forgive you. User will forgive you because other apps not doing great either.
Yeah.
So yeah,
isn't that okay?
It's like a forgivable thing. Yeah, it's okay. Yeah. I can accept that. Just
yeah. Isn't forgiveness divine?
Damn it! Translation is the thing where the user won't forgive it. So Chinese user will search for 过期 instead of expire. How does he know?
Okay.
And if you ask them to translate each attribute value and keywords, you know what they will do nothing about it.
Yeah. Okay. No, I understand. I understand exactly where you're coming from.
Translation is the part. The part I mentioned that before.
Yeah. True. Yeah.
Translation is where it breaks.
Yeah.
Searching into the source code will also find variable names.
Yes, that's bad. And also, searching into source code will find things that are not supposed to be displayed. For example, if the guy decides to not to display the word redeemable in certain case, but it's found anyway, and the user will be pretty confused if they don't see the word. So it's not good.
They might get the is user a goat as well, that kind of stuff.
Yeah. So actually, I think the fallback is I'm more inclined to delete the fallback. Either we don't implement the search, or we implement search that is compatible with the translation and not with source code.
Or if it's not critical, then let's not do it yet. Not do it first until we know how to do it better.
Yeah. So we might just fall back, not implement it. Okay.
Okay.
You guys agree with that?
Yeah, that seems reasonable.
That's what is good.
Yeah. Search into attributes might not work because TS dev might only translate the view, not the data set. See?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So any other questions on this one?
Yes. Sorry if this has already been answered elsewhere.
No, it hasn't.
No. I'm asking a question that
Yeah, I
might
know your
have
question is not answered.
How do you know?
You just ask.
Okay. So looking at these, looking at all these events, like, because I've kind of been working on other stuff for a while, and now I'm definitely back into this. How do you render the text? Like, is that in the JavaScript somewhere, or is that procedural? Is that these event text? Are they procedurally generated?
So the idea is simply to run JavaScript that is inside the TokenScript, and whatever you get in memory DOM tree is the text.
Okay. So, damn it! I just killed it. I was looking at the one of the sample. Let me just look at my history.
Sorry,
So,
insert one word. When I say that you just run the JavaScript and capture the in-memory DOM tree, I mean the item view only, not view.
yes, I think I know what you mean. So, looking at one of the examples that you've got using the new TokenScript, you've got the ENS example which has got a bunch of events described. So when something happens, like say for example, I get expires. So the expires event has just kicked off. So what I've got there is I've got I've got a function called name expires, which is returning a token ID. I know that token ID is one of my ENS names. So how would I turn that, this event firing, and I've got a token ID, which is my token ID. How would I then display such and such a token has expired?
So the problem is to find the event or to render it.
No, I can find the event, no problems, because that's just that just all happens through Ethereum and the node. But how would I then go from having this event, which has got the information it has is the name, which is expires, which doesn't really mean anything, to the engine. I have the token ID, which I know is one of my token IDs, and that's it. I don't have anything else. How do I go from that to saying, this ENS token has expired?
Okay, so you have cards, right?
Yes.
And then you have an activity card. And you have item view.
Sorry, I'm looking at, yeah, okay. Sorry, don't worry.
It's not in the ens.xml file.
Yeah.
If that's what you're
nobody
looking
wrote
at.
it. No, yeah.
So it's a theoretical
wrote
thing.
it because
so
I did talk with him about it.
Yeah. So basically, it's it would be in something like expire.en.js or whatever. And
it's
then
basically another TokenScript view.
Yes. Okay. So it's a TokenScript view for an event. Is that
activity?
Correct?
Activity.
Okay. Yes, it's for an activity.
Because sometimes you can have activity without event.
Yes. Okay.
Make sense so far? What I wrote here?
Oh, hang on. Wait. Let me just look at that. Okay. Yes. I like that. Okay. Yeah, that's good. Got it. Yeah, that would work.
I'll provide schema, of course.
Yes. Okay.
If I didn't
Excellent.
talk with you about this schema before, then that's my fault.
No, well, the thing is, you probably have, but at the time it wasn't relevant. So I just kind of filed it away somewhere. But
It's
now,
too hard to remember what I told which people.
well, no. But the thing is, when you actually need some information,
Mm.
then it's like, have you told me this? You probably have, but at the time, it didn't. It didn't have
Yeah, the same problem happened to
the
me.
value.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't remember it sometimes.
So so now that I'm looking at it, so I can see exactly how that works.
Mm.
Okay, that's great. Yeah.
One thing about the activities tab is there an easy way to sort the activities?
So typical, if it's event, you should be able to use a filter expression, but that's something pretty advanced. So what I want to do is filter. So sorry, you ask for sort, I answer filter because they're actually solving similar scenarios. So what I really want is to find out all transactions where I transacted more than 100 ether, right? So what I should be able to do event filter just as you you specify event filter in the activity. Sorry, in the cards. Yeah, in TokenScript. Remember that the filter is the expression where something equal to something, something greater than something, something less than something. And we should be able to build a user interface for that.
But that is within one token, within the token.
Yeah, yeah.
So how about across multiple tokens?
Yes. So you did, yes. So actually, you're right. Yeah. If you sort by something, you need to have a database key and sort key. And the problem is for ERC20 is easy. For everything else, like voting, so find me all the votes where more than 20% people participate the votes. It's yeah. Where's the search key? Or if you authorize your friend to use your car, what is the search key for that?
But since we are working with events now, can we just use the timestamp which is fired, which is emitted?
Oh,
is
yeah.
that reasonable?
Oh, of course, that can be done.
But do we actually get that back?
It's returned as operational attribute. If I didn't talk about operational attribute before, then let me try to talk about it. Every time when you retrieve an object, a data object, be it an event or a attestation or anything, together with the data object returned, there are some special attributes that is always there. These are the operational attributes. Timestamp is in it.
Okay.
The operational attributes also have block ID, for example, if it's from blockchain. Operational attributes are not defined in data object. It's returned in the data object.
Okay.
Okay, so far so good. Well, this has we are not beginning implementing this thing yet. I'm sharing it across, so we are more ready. We have no questions when it starts. Okay.
Okay.
If you want to implement certain way to implement it, you can already start thinking about it. Okay. So happy coronavirus homestaying days.
Coronavirus. I like the sound of that. That sounds like something kind of like time thing.
Yeah. So normal.
How's your situation, Boone? How's your coronavirus going?
Not so good.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes, because my son goes to preschool.
But they said that kids don't really get it, but they can act. I guess they can act as carriers, so he can bring it to your home.
Yes, and we
probably not that great.
Yeah,
yes.
My wife and I, we don't want to fall sick.
Yes, yes.
Mm-hmm. And
yeah, so it's tricky.
Yeah. So at a certain point of time, consider move to Australia. The virus doesn't get better here, but everything else gets better.
I thought schools have already begun shutting down in Australia.
Yeah, about
further apart.
In my suburb is shutting down. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, one question about TokenScript. One last one. Remember, about two weeks ago, we talked about whether within a smart contract can we listen to events. You remember that conversation?
Yeah, I remember
Yes.
that. Yes. And then we said, let's investigate.
Sorry,
Yes, I
Victor
asked
keep calling
James
me even if I ask him to stop calling me, so it must be important.
Sorry about that, Boone. I'll get back to you.
Yeah.
Yes. You can let us know. Thanks.
Yeah. Sweet as.
That's all.
All right. I guess goodbye.
Oh, okay. 那行，好。
Yes, I suppose so.
Yeah.
Hello?
All right. Bye.
Yeah. So Victor is at my door. He's visiting me mysteriously. So that's why he called a few times. Okay. So if nothing more, I'm going to leave the meeting and see Victor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
See ya.
Okay.
Right.
See you. Thanks.
See you.
Bye.